just got back from a blackmouth fishing trip, and it has me thinking a lot about the future of this fishery. I want to talk about where are we headed with this fishery? What's coming next? What did the tea leaves say? Where are we going? So we got on the water after a couple stormy days, and we had a nice morning ebb tide. The ebb tide around Kingston and that side of the Puget Sound on an ebb is just, it's great fishing conditions. It wasn't huge, right? The bigger tide movements, you've got more fish, more bait that'll get pushed together, right? But it was good. And the bite was good, right? I've talked about this a bunch. I like to fish anchovies in a bait helmet, maybe a bigger spoon on another rod to kind of balance it out, see what they're hitting on. And really, I want to use bigger stuff because I want to eliminate some of the smaller fish that often bite. You know, the issue with winter blackmouth isn't hooking fish; it's hooking keepers. There's a ton of sublegal fish out there, and yeah, sadly, we're on a quota system, right? So all of those sublegal fish that we hook, they count against our quota. That quota determines how long the season goes, but that quota was negotiated, and it took away from a season that we potentially could have in the summer, right? So we get to fish for winter blackmouth at the expense of fishing for, in some areas, for summer chinook that are returning. Is that a good idea? Is that a good trade? Look, I like being on the water all year long. I don't winterize my boat. It's a big reason I have a boat, but I'm not sure it's making a ton of sense what's going on in this fishery. You know, last year, right, they opened it, they did a reopener in late February. There were far fewer sublegals around. My partner and I hooked some really nice, chinook that had been clearly, they weren't out migrators, right? They were 8-9 pounds. They'd been around for a few years, and and we only hooked a few fish that day. We released one or two sublegals. It's kind of like what you would envision this fishery should be. Let's do a deeper dive on what's going on with this winter chinook, the blackmouth fishery in Puget Sound. I recently joined the Puget Sound Wreckfish Enhancement Fund Oversight Committee, and so I'm going through some of the data, some of the background on some of this stuff, and this group was originally put in place by the state legislature to raise 3 million yearling chinook and per year. And the big thing with yearlings is that they tend to spend more time in Puget Sound. So, this whole yearling program has always been about enhancing the blackmouth opportunity and giving people an opportunity to be on the water all year long versus just in the summertime. But as we know, like, seasons have changed dramatically, and a lot of stuff has been restricted. A lot of this has to do with the Stillaguamish run and some other factors. I'm not going to get into that. But the other thing is that things are very different now than they were then. One of the things that there was an audit done of the PSRFE in 2010, and one of the things they looked at is the number of yearling chinook that are actually being caught by sport fishermen are incredibly low, and the cost of raising this fish is really high. So for the bang for our buck that we're paying for licenses that goes directly towards raising these fish is not very good. And then on top of that, you have all these sub-yearling chinook, which is the primary hatchery release for chinook in Puget Sound. You have all these sub-yearlings that are being released that are migrating from the South Sound up through Marine Area 10 and out to the strait in the ocean. And these sub-yearlings, I keep wanting to call them sub-legals because I spent too much time in Marine Area 10 this past week. But these are the sub-legals that we keep hooking. There's a massive amount of them in this area, and there's only a very small percentage that are going to be 22 inches, right? As they're migrating out, and then there's even going to be a smaller percentage of blackmouth that are these yearling chinook that they're resident, they've been around for a couple of years, and they're growing to these 8, 9, 10 pound chinook. So anytime we open this fishery before the sub-yearlings have migrated through, you're just gonna grind through the quota, right? I mean, the ratio of sublegal to legal fish is so small while these things are passing through, and it's grown. This issue has grown worse as fewer yearling fish are being raised and more sub-yearling fish are being raised, right? And these things are, you know, they're voracious feeders. They're gonna bite on. Yeah, it's great to use bigger gear, but that doesn't eliminate these fish from getting caught. And the test fishers, you know, that are out there for WFW, they know what the numbers are. Doesn't matter what you tell the creel checker. They're recording these against our quota and counting the number of boats and doing the math, and you know, so we fight for these blackmouth fisheries, but I'm not sure it's worth what we're actually getting versus if we were to maybe test fish and only open the fishery once most of these things have passed through, or pick the last week of February like the reopener was in 2022 when there were very few of the sublegals around, right? And it was a good fishery. So on all that quota that we're chewing up, chasing a small number of catchable, legal, keepable fish, could that quota be spent other places in the summer? Could we have a longer season in Marine Area 9 or Marine Area 7, some of these other places? Like, could we have a longer season in Marine Area 11? I mean, these are the things we gotta evaluate. We gotta look at. I think kind of dying on the hill of we must have a winter blackmouth in Marine Area 10 in January or early February. Just I'm not seeing what the point is. Maybe I'm missing something. Feel free to drop me a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. Some of you will do that anyways. But yeah. What's going on here? What do you all think? What should we? I don't know if I can influence regulations at all on this committee, but if we could, if we were all saying the same thing, and as we go through the public comment period north of Falcon, we're like, hey, don't do this blackmouth season again the way that we did it this year. Would we all agree on that?